Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the 15-star Super Boss with two teams to take down this particular event. Now, I did put these teams sort of out in a video for preparation, and as I mentioned, if you guys don't have the New Year's batch, it's going to be very, very tricky this time around. Now, we've been doing some cooking. We're doing some stuff with Gear 5. We're doing stuff with Nami as well, actually. So there is a lot of stuff floating around at the moment. Hopefully, you guys find something that'll help your particular account out. But I am showcasing these teams pretty early because I do think that these teams they're going to do pretty good damage moving forward. I'm not sold on the second team yet. I'm going to keep tweaking it, but for now, I just want to see what the damage looks like and stuff like that. But there were a lot of problems with the infographic, specifically the intimidation. The intimidation was the big one. It's not actually turn-based. It's based on the actual number or the multiplier that you actually provide. So just be mindful of that when you are doing your team building, and I'll talk about that once we get there. But for the Who's fight, he is going to have 5 grifters or 4 grifters, and they have 6 turns of threshold. Now, on the final stage, there is that intimidation that I spoke about, where you lose a 1 times to your attack, orbs, and your color affinity. Plus, there's an intro for an attack boost, so that's why I'm using Kinemon here to carry over Roger Odin's attack boost and the color affinity of Yamato. You get Yamato back very easily. As a captain in her dual form, she gives herself like 6 turns of cooldown. Plus, if a slasher or a striker uses a special, she gives herself cooldowns there. But to get around the threshold for this team, I'm actually using the new Marco. He's just an easy slide-in. You can use anyone, though. Momo would be the best option if you guys have Legend Momo. Would be a perfect spot there. And then you could use, like, Luffy Yamato over the Luffy Ace spot. That would work just so damn well. However, for myself, I don't have Momo, so I'm using Luffy and Ace to get the chain boundary with their swap. Their special is going to give an orb buff, but remember with that intimidation, it's going to reduce it by 1. So a 2.75 attack or orb boost will go to a 1.75. That's basically what it means. We're going to use Yamato for the color affinity increase. Well, the increased damage taken, I believe she gives us, because we have the carryover of that color affinity. Zoro and Sanji are going to increase our attack and our orb boost by 0.5. Plus, they give us all those crazy chain shenanigans, which are really, really good. Plus, I have the Viola support for base stats on them too. Every time a character uses a special when Yamato's in her dual form, she adds to that final tap buff as well. And with this particular team, I don't think I actually hit with Yamato, but just be mindful my Rodin is level 5 Rush, and my Zoro Sanji is level 5 Super Tandem. However, this team will still work if you guys are at the lower levels. The damage obviously won't be as much, but you will still be able to get access to all the abilities because we have Kinemon and Ace for Rodin, and then we have the requirements for Zoro and Sanji and their Super Tandem at level 1, 2, or whatever, anything like that. But there you guys go. That was 50 billion without hitting with Yamato, so some pretty nice damage there. As for the next fight, though, Roger and Odin can't do as much, but against the quick variation, we're using a Yamato Frame Captain once again. I think the Yamato final tap is going to be incredibly powerful, but what we did find out about this particular variation is conditional boosts do take the intimidation of a 1 times reduction. So, say for example, if you use Robin's double stacking conditional at 2.25, it's actually going to go down to a 1.25 times buff. If you use something like Ace and Yamato, it's actually just going to bring it down to a 1 times, and it's actually going to be no buff for you at all, which is kind of crazy. Plus, the attack boost isn't 1 turn, so that way it's reducing the potency by Roger and Odin's 3.25 for quick slashes, or 2.75 to just regular slashes. You're reducing that to 1.75. So with this particular team, I did bring Kinemon Dendro for some resistance, and I did add Verse Yamato. The reason I added Verse Yamato was to give the extra 1.7 damage reduction buff to my Zoro Sanji as well. I don't know if that's going to be better than just having the 2.4 for the dual Yamato final tap, but nevertheless, like, I needed a Yamato unit. It needed to be either a Yamato or a Luffy on the team. I might look at using something like Luffy Yamato and utilizing their ability there, as you can actually get the increase of color affinity with Shanks and Buggy. Might look at doing some stuff there. But this particular team, like I said, I'm not overly chuffed with. But on stage 2, to get through the Tandem Orb barrier, you can use the Super Swap of Yamato as a captain. She works great for this fight. That's just going to basically give you the Tandem Orbs that you need. You can get through the barrier and just move on to the final stage against King. Against King, and on this stage as well, you can't use orb buffs or base stat boosts, which drastically skews your damage, like massively skews it. But look, there might be some way to get like a 5-turn orb boost or something like that moving forward. Some of the Humongo brains might figure something out, and who knows what will end up cooking. But there's paralysis on the final stage, so that's why we're looking at doing stuff with Nami. There is defense up, so Zoro Sanji is perfect for this fight. Plus, there is a resistance, I believe. No, not a resistance. The resistance is on the other variation. There is an attack down. That's right. There is an attack down if you're below a 10 times chain. Now, I don't know if that's really affecting my damage too much, because I actually don't have a chain boundary. If I had Momo, once again, Momo would be an absolute great addition for that spot where Kinemon Dendro is. But look, I might look at doing some stuff with another chain boundary, maybe something like Luffy and Ace, to try and get above that 10 times chain. Because remember, you are taking 30% less damage when you are below the 10 times chain. However, with Kinemon Dendro, my plan here was to give myself, or give my slasher characters, an extra 50% resistance. Roger and Odin, there's still going to be our attack boost at 3 or 2.75. Actually, using Yamato probably would have been the smarter move, because hers is going to go down to a 2 times attack boost, and really that's going to give us more damage. Plus, she can use the Queen support. That's another real big upside to utilizing her. Shanks and Buggy are just here because they can use resistance with their Super Swap. I can use them to get around paralysis as well, but they also trigger, like I said, they also trigger Roger and Odin's Super Tandem. Sorry, the Rush ability. I might look at replacing them with something like a chain boundary unit, because I think the chain boundary is probably going to give me more damage. I haven't looked at what the actual damage number is, because I know we can use something like Izo Kiku for more paralysis removal, and then use another unit to get some more paralysis removal on whatever unit I do decide to put instead of Shanks Buggy. But Shanks Buggy, they do give that extra 30% resistance as well, plus they can give that extra final tap. Every time you're using a special with a slasher or a striker, it's actually going into that final tap, as you guys are seeing there, that little buff icon, which is actually pretty nice. Plus, I had the support of the new support just to give us a little bit more damage there as well. With this particular team that you are seeing right here, I don't have a super rainbowed Yamato, but they are rainbowed out, so the final tap is level 5. And with a level 5 Rush and a level 5 Super Tandem Zoro Sanji, I think we managed to clock out just under 5 billion. I'm curious to see what the taps end up at here. Does Zoro and Sanji end up cracking the 10? Yeah, so Zoro and Sanji end up cracking the 10 anyway. So having the chain boundary might not be overly effective, but look, it could give us something else. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down that bell like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.